Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to take a journey to a place that, well, it doesn't exist on any map, but it's designed to make you feel something really powerful. We're about to take an architectural tour of a truly unique conceptual design, the Sajavariin Temple.
And it all starts right here, with its name. Before we even see a single wall or a window, we get its core identity, the House of Sacred Softness. Right away, you know this isn't just a building. It's an idea, an entire atmosphere, a space dedicated to a very specific kind of spiritual energy.
So, what does sacred softness really mean when we're talking about architecture? Before we walk through those doors, we've got to understand the temple's foundational identity. You know, what it is, where it's imagined to be, and the whole reason it was conceived in the first place.
Okay, so here's where that poetic idea gets grounded in some actual details. We learn its imagined location, a clifftop in the coastal country of Arreqqana. The style? Think Coastal Hacienda, but infused with sacred geometry. And its purpose is crystal clear: the worship of the feminine divine and the practice of what are called rites of tenderness.
All right, with those foundations set, let's start our approach. This next part is all about that architectural welcome, what it feels like to see and walk towards this temple for the very first time. The design immediately just grabs your senses. The walls aren't just stone. They're described as pale, sun-warmed sandstone with blush undertones. The roofs are that classic terracotta, but look at this detail. They have these beautiful, shimmering mother-of-pearl edges. Even the windows are special, made of ocean glass with these intricate heart and starburst patterns. Every single choice here is delivering on that initial promise of sacred softness. And as you get closer, that welcome becomes even more personal. You're greeted by busts of priestesses, you walk through a garden of lavender and something called moon rose, and finally, you start what's called the winding heart step ascent. Every single element is designed to prepare you, to shift your mindset for the sacred space you're about to enter. And now, we step inside. We're entering the chambers of ceremony. This is the public heart of the temple, the place where the community gathers together for ritual and for worship. And what you see here is a very deliberate journey. It's not just a collection of rooms, it's a carefully planned path. You begin in the Kiva Rafra entrance hall, then you move to the Vvaa'yin Sanctuary, and you conclude in the Kasorr Flame Chamber. Each space is meant to build upon the last one. So your first stop is the Kiva entrance hall. This whole space is designed to shift your state of being. Just imagine walking in. There are mirror pools reflecting a dome of soft crystal light, and the architecture itself is built for resonance, so that the sound of chants literally fills the air all around you. From there, you enter the Vvaa'yin Sanctuary, which is the true heart of worship. And at its center, there's an altar fountain, but instead of water, it flows with a symbolic white rose milk. The space is filled with statues of the deity Laalaë, all carved from rose quartz, materials that just perfectly match the temple's gentle, soft aesthetic. And the final stop on this ceremonial path is the Kasorr Flame Chamber. Now here, the energy kind of shifts from softness to strength. This is where a sacred fire burns, a place for really powerful personal rituals, things like naming vows and ceremonies of renewal. But you know, this temple isn't just for public ceremony. It also holds these incredible spaces for the individual. As we continue our tour, we're now exploring the private rooms, the ones designed for personal reflection, for release, and for purification. And notice this beautiful contrast here. On one hand, you have the flame chamber, a place of strength and vows, and on the other, you have the Lunari Room, a space explicitly made for weeping and releasing softness. This is such a key insight into the temple's philosophy, right? It shows a complete embrace of the feminine divine, where both its power and its vulnerability are given their own sacred space. This inner work continues in other really specialized rooms. There's Zia's spiral library, which is filled with texts on concepts like sacred refusal. And then there's the bath of Laalaë, where you find marble pools of spiced floral water used for ritual anointing and preparation. And of course, the temple is a living space. The priestess cloisters are described as these gentle, crescent-shaped corridors, and I just love this detail. Each person who lives there has her own room, and it's personalized with her own chosen sigil and scent. It's all about honoring individuality right there within the community. All right, for our final section, we're going to pull back and look at the whole experience. How do all these individual elements, all these rooms and details, weave together to create the temple's living, breathing, sensory atmosphere?
Our tour concludes on the Sunset Chant Terrace. It's an open-air patio looking right out over the ocean cliffs. This is the space that connects the temple's inner world directly with the vastness of nature. It's a place for harmonies and offerings as the sun goes down.
So now, let's just try to synthesize this entire experience. Let's start with the palette. The colors that define this space: blush rose, ivory gold, soft violet, and the deep red of maroon flame. They just evoke this feeling of warmth and gentleness.
Okay, now imagine the air itself is part of the design. Picture it filled with these aromas: jasmine on the wind, the spice of cinnamon flower, the unique scent of ocean saffron, and that sweet fragrance of rose milk coming from the sanctuary. Now think about the textures, what you would feel under your fingertips, the coolness of braided silks, the intricate patterns of seashell mosaics on the floor, and the history you can almost feel in the etched wood of the altars.
And finally, just listen. Imagine the sounds. A constant, gentle soundscape of distant temple bells, soft wind chimes moving with the ocean breeze, and the quiet hum of devotional lullabies that seem to rise from the very stones themselves.
And what ties this entire sensory experience together? It's the recurring motifs: the double heart, the flame thread spiral, the milk drop, the blooming wave. These sacred symbols are etched into the walls, they're carved into the windows, and they're woven into the very fabric of the temple, creating this unified, really powerful aesthetic.
Which leaves us with just one final thought. After experiencing its sights, its sounds, and its scents, after understanding its purpose of celebrating both strength and softness, if these imagined walls could actually speak, what final secret of tenderness or of power do you think they would share with us?